And I say welcome to another episode of Mixed Drinks, where we bring the best in entertainment from our hood to yours. You're welcome. As always, is your boy Case. And to my far left, you already know, the one and only Kara. 2 rounds in the house. And to my immediate left, you know, I got something tasty for you. Well, you know, Kara always brings something tasty for us to enjoy. You gonna like this dude, man. I've been checking him out. Wordplay is crazy. You can hear the blended styles, the consciousness of his content, and you know, as always, you know, we got another spitter for you.
Sometimes consciousness of the content.
Without further ado, I bring to you Banish Habitual.
Yes,
let's get on Banish Habitual. Banish,
things evolve. I feel like my shit back in the day was maybe a little bit more conscious heavy and shit, but I like to tackle all kinds of topics.
You rounded. You're seasoned. As time progresses, you grow. You know, if you're not an MC with growth, then you just you know
the importance of actually saying something.
Yeah. Well, also when you do something for so long, you have to you move around within it.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
Before anything else, tell people where you're from.
Oh, I'm from South San Diego, Chula Vista specifically, so South Bay, San Diego, born and raised. Pretty much as simple as that. Yeah. I really ain't lived too many other places. I think my pops had us in Casa de Oro for a second.
Motherfuckers the same way.
Yeah.
I
lived in Shelltown for a hot minute with my dog. Like, I've been to a couple of spots. I lived in TJ for like 3 years.
Well,
with the
Chula Vista and TJ is like 2 seconds away from each other. If you were in Chula Vista, that's cousins to Tijuana, Mexico, ladies.
Yeah, so Chula Vista particularly is, you know, it's 10 minutes from the border, 10 minutes from downtown. So there was a time and place when I was down there on the beach. Living life.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when people think of, first of all, when people think of hip hop, and I speak of this all the time, and the West Coast, they seldom think about San Diego. You know, we had a couple of brushes with some MCs that came out here, but they don't think about San Diego. Then they think about San Diego, they seldom think about Chula Vista. Where
on a national level, you mean?
No, on a West Coast level. People think about West Coast hip hop, but there is a huge scene of hip hop. All the elements actually are huge in Chula Vista.
Sure.
And people will find that out. You know, you're the second artist actually behind here for Chula Vista, which is pretty dope.
So I think coming up to down there specifically, we were all a bunch of graffiti heads. So there was a lot of us came up through graffiti and then found rapping. I think later.
It's all part of the package, right?
Yeah,
all
for
the elements,
most
right?
of us. I'd say the majority of us from down there started in some kind of graffiti oriented business of some sort.
So is your introduction into the elements?
I would say I was just having this conversation too, where it's like I think my injection into the elements was probably the Thriller video when the Ghouls came out and there was pop locking and I thought I could break dance and shit, and then my dad was like, if you break your neck, spin it on your head, I'm gonna break your neck. So don't. And then I think in junior high school I quickly found out that my lanky ass wasn't much of a b-boy. Even though I wanted to be, but prior to that as a kid I would draw like Disney characters and comic book characters, so that naturally gravitated me towards graffiti pretty immediately, and I didn't catch on to rapping until later on.
I get what you're saying because growing up East Coast, you have to pretty much know how to do everything at least an entry-level position. You didn't have to be the nicest break dancer.
You gotta do a windmill.
But you gotta be you gotta be able to
uprock.
You ain't gotta be the nicest of burners of doing pieces, but you better be able to do a little something, a little throw up or something. Right? You know what I'm saying? You better not be a good MC, but you better be able to make something rhyme together. So, and then we'll find out what you're extra good at, and that's what you normally gravitate to. So I know, I understand that 110%.
Yeah, out of all the stuff, you figure out what you're, because the homies find turntables and I would scratch and I was like, oh, I could. Yeah, but you just end up where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, everybody fucked up their mom's needle a couple times.
The crazy story about that. So we were at my aunt's house fucking up her turntable, and this is junior high school.
We call it table. We fucked up our record player. Your parents had a record player.
Sure, it was a record player. It was not a turntable.
We call it a turntable.
It did not have
turntable.
So we're fucking up one of the records, and then shout out to Sonny from POD. Comes home. He's married to my cousin Shannon. So he comes to the house. And he's like, "What are you guys doing to the record player? Like, what are you guys?" And we're like, "We're scratching." And he's like, "No, you're not. You're just ruining the record player." So he was kind of like one of my first influences, probably like the first dude to like put me up on like put me up on
Maple Street.
Like a Public Enemy cassette tape or like something like that. Because at that time, I say, elementary school, we were, it was NWA and DJ Quick and there's things, but I think he was probably one of the first ones to introduce me to more of an East Coast centric style of rap. Because we were listening to Too Short and all the shit that was going on over here.
West Coast stuff,
So definitely ruined some record players, but
that was just funny stuff. Speaking of which, you hear the influence. You hear the influence in your bars that you rhyme. You hear the heavy East Coast influence. Tell me, what were some artists when you really decided you were going to be serious as an MC? You decided, as you know, I think I'm decent in this. Well, when you reflect back, when you make that decision.
Now I'm definitely.
What you thought? What got in there? Who was the MCs that you were listening to that made you think, damn, you know what? I want to try to make something thought provoking like that. I want to try to put my thoughts in my lyrics and say something clever, say something that's gonna make people say, "Oh shit."
Sure. Specifically, I'd say that I'm a woo baby. I'm a hieroglyphics baby. But more than that, I think particularly the MCs that made me want to rap were like Redman and Sean Price. Price.
Rest in peace, Sean Price.
Rest in peace. When Helter Skelter came out with the Nocturnal album, that album, that album probably was a direct influence on me deciding that I wanted to
let the madness begin. Let the madness begin.
That was a big influence. Being able to have an opportunity to be in the studio with him and perform on a stage with him, it was it was cool when I was younger for sure.
That's crazy.
That's for me being friends with my hip hop heroes.
Right.
I never the first time I heard Black Moon's album, I would never thought I'd be friends with Mr. Wall.
Okay, right.
Yeah. My hip hop heroes. So it's
So I'd say I was definitely influenced by all of that, particularly. Like I said, so we're over here on the West Coast and we're listening to a lot of gangster rap music, but I was a white kid from down here. I wasn't gang banging, so it didn't really fit my bill to be into we were still listening to NWA and all that shit, but I wasn't a gangster. And at a time when I was transitioning from being in elementary school to junior high school, where dudes were actually gang banging, the essays was over there, so you couldn't just wear Cortez because NWA was doing it.
Right.
You had to kind of watch.
Yeah.
So that was when Otai and Chula and that whole. So that part of it made it to where you had to kind of adjust, what you were doing as you moved forward. But definitely influenced by the East Coast because it wasn't particularly gangster rap music, and it had more of the elements involved. Because by that time we was already doing graffiti and shit. Right. So that's when last time I was in New York, we're hanging out with Elder Sensei and so artifacts and shit.
As soon as you say graffiti and rap, I automatically think of artifacts.
Yeah, for sure. Rest in peace, Tan. Shit like that was just a heavy influence on us. And then me and my homies particularly were trying to find the shit that you don't have. So it was for me.
Tower record days, huh?
Yeah, so it's for me to come to the table and I found this group Home album and they hadn't heard it yet. And so you tried to find things that your friends, and we're all playing ball, we're all playing football and shit back then.
Nice.
This is probably post. So there was a time when I was coming up around Fixing Them And then a bunch of my other homies was at the school playing ball, and they expected me to go play ball. So I was trying to kind of, I was doing graffiti, but I had to go play football. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of that mix. And then while playing football, a bunch of my bros and dudes just freestyling rap, and that kind of like was one of my introductions to like the little homie Marcus thought he was dope, and I was like, he's not that dope, you know? So I gotta write something to go at Marcus. Then I'm coming back to our show.
I'm pretty sure I could write something more thought-provoking than Marcus. Yeah, I know I got it in me.
And then we were just talking about we used to go hang out at a park that I live by currently at Hilltop Park, and I figured out I could freestyle like kind of on accident. Just smoking weed and drinking 40s and hanging out, and I was like, damn, I could kind of rap about like what's going on around me in the moment, and I didn't know I could do that. So when I kind of found that, I was like, oh shit, this is something. And I mean, shit, I started writing like everybody else's story. I started writing before I knew what bars were, and I was just writing rhymes. Yeah.
I used to just write till I filled up one page. That was considered a verse to me. Right. I filled up another page. That's another verse.
But at the time, I didn't know how to count bars. I didn't know what I was doing. We was just writing.
Somebody tells you what a bar is.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
I want to just reflect on that back to freestyling. People downplay freestyling like it's not an art. You still have to have an artistic mind to be able to freestyle.
Maybe
formulate your mind
even more so.
More so to be able to formulate your thoughts that quick.
Crazy.
Because it's freestyle battles, which is even crazier.
Right.
But just to be able to spit off the top of your mind and formulate your thoughts together, it's crazy. But you still have to be gifted in that aspect too, because anybody can make 2 words rhyme in freestyle, but to make something thought-provoking in freestyle, that's a whole nother level, and that's a gift.
Yeah,
that's a gift. You can't become. I mean, it's like a writer, right? You can't be a great. I mean, even if you write books, I'm not even talking about rhymes. If you write books, somebody's gonna be better. Somebody has a better imaginative mind. They're gifted in their thoughts and their words, and they can paint a picture by you just reading those words.
Yeah.
So shout out to the dope freestyles.
To do it off the top, and not that it's a lost art, but obviously now. So let's say you get an opportunity to do, you get a look to do a radio show or a podcast or something like that, and you almost don't even have the opportunity to truly freestyle in these because it's a lost art. I'll say that I feel like it's a sword, and if you don't keep it sharp, that shit will be dull. Yeah, so if you don't practice freestyling on a regular basis, you won't be as good as you could be.
I agree 100%.
If you do it regularly. It's not something I do regularly. Sometimes it's like, okay.
Because you don't have to as much anymore, right? So that's why I love when, not to cut you short, you see a battle, right? People are battling. It's a real battle. And then the person gets shooken off from his words or something happens and he just starts freestyling in the middle of his joint.
Yeah.
And it actually wins the round for him.
Sure.
Because
that can happen.
I will say now, to see the situation.
The battles are so mapped out. Everything is so mapped out. Yeah. You have all your shit already prepared. I think at most now what you'll get is dudes that are very skilled in the battle scene will be able to listen to your round, whatever it is, pick something from it, rebut it at the top of their next, rebut it at the top of their next shit, and then go
super underrated, right?
And then go into their material. Now, there's very rare. It's a rare anomaly when you find dudes like a Supernatural or like one of these that can really just hand him something from the stage, hand him something on stage, and he's gonna rap about it. That's another type of.
That's another level.
That's another level, and not many MCs have that. A lot of MCs can't freestyle at all, much less be able to really rap about.
Before though, you used to get dissed if you was an MC and couldn't freestyle.
Well, it's quite the opposite now. So once I started getting out there, like last year, I got asked to judge a showcase, and so it was a tiebreaker. So I said, all right, for the tiebreaker, let's throw down a freestyle. And the guy that was like had the edge over the.
But that was messed up though, right?
He wouldn't do it. He didn't have any other songs. He wouldn't rock over an instrumental. He wouldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he way to lose, right?
and that was like super eye-opening to me. And that's when I started doing the ciphers at the jump off.
Everything's so scripted. So, It's hard.
It's tough, man, because Does that make you a whack MC if you can't freestyle, but your pen is wicked?
You gotta teach them. You know, you gotta teach them.
I like what he said. Because everybody, if you can write, you can freestyle. You can sharpen your freestyle skills, because if you're dope and you can provoke our minds by writing, you can do the same thing by freestyling. You just got to train your mind to think of those same things.
If it's something you work on, you could probably get to it. But people just don't. It's a lost art.
It's a lost art.
Yeah,
it's not a respected art like it once was. I would say that people don't respect it. Underground scene will always.
I kind of feel like it's our fault. We're not carrying the torch properly.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a niche market, right? So when you're freestyling, you're not necessarily making music. Because there's times when I go into a recording session now, and I might freestyle the end of something I wrote, or I might freestyle something off of, or I might do something in the moment while I'm recording. But other than that, where do you use freestyling other than in a battle?
Right.
In a cipher.
Right.
That's it. And so how often is that the prevalent thing? Like, people are making music, they're not really...
So I guess it's almost what you said. We made it not important.
Yeah.
So we're making it relevant.
Not us, personally, but the masses made it important. People that consider themselves, heads and, carriers of the torch.
Yeah, the G's.
And here's the thing. So now even if you have a high-profile cipher, like say, I got an invite to do the BET cipher.
Nice.
I didn't. I'm just saying, if I did, could I just go out there and truly freestyle?
Right.
It's a risk.
But none of them are freestyling either.
They're not. That's what I'm saying. So here's the thing. Here's where we have a cipher now that's being recorded, but nobody's going to freestyle.
Because nobody wants to risk that chance.
Because it's too much of an opportunity.
They don't practice enough to trust that sword. So I'm going to pull out my other sword.
It's too much of a roll of the dice to go on, sway, and actually freestyle.
Well put.
You know what I mean?
Unless you spar enough and I can't wait for them to tell me to freestyle. Now, some people are like, I don't care if they tell me to freestyle, I'm still going to kill it. Yeah. Karis had many people at her jump off. They can't wait. I seen people I've been drinking with the whole night. I'm like, he's going to fucking bomb tonight. And he kills it.
Now there's those hidden talents. Rest in peace, Idea. Idea was one of those guys where in the battle scene where you're like, oh shit, he's just coming up with this shit off the top of his head, and it's
not down in your mind, right?
It's so good, and
his flowing is so fast. His thoughts are moving so crazy.
That shit'll make you want to stop rapping.
It makes you. I can see why some people was hoping that freestyle would die a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Especially people that can't do it. Yeah. Of course, they want to be able to write everything and pre-rehearse everything. But which
is still something special too.
Somebody that has status, right? So let's say this is the 5th time in the last decade that Pharoah Monch is doing Sway. Now he could go up there and freestyle, and it's really not going to matter either way if he bombs or not, because he's Pharoah Monch. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's it's just not a lot of people have the ability to take the opportunity to really freestyle, and very few would, even if they had.
Shouts out to Pharoah Monch.
You know what I mean? Oh, for sure. But true freestyle art, supernatural. There's certain dudes that it's a different level of artistry in the way that they freestyle.
I'd be remiss, and this is totally off of hip hop. You a white dude from Chula Vista. Yeah. I don't know if y'all noticed. He has dreadlocks down to his feet.
Down to his feet.
I got dreads. I know people. I'm an island dude that's tried their whole life to do such things. Let's talk about that journey. When did you decide you wanted to do it? Sure. How long you got there? I'm sure you get asked this shit all the time. Most of the time I see your shit is bundled up in the true dread hat. They probably got a name for that shit. I fucked it up, but
I think kind of just back to the conversation we were having about growing up in the culture that I was growing up in, listening to Helter Skelter, but I was also very much into reggae as well. So I came up listening to dancehall, and I came up listening to Roots. And my first collaboration with a major artist was Don Carlos.
Crazy.
And
shouts out to Don Carlos.
And I worked with Junior Reed and Beanie Band.
He's my dude, man. Ain't he crazy? I'm a Bronx dude, so I'm all dancehall. You know what I'm saying?
So I love that. So the first time I was able to go to Kingston was kind of in I would say it was not the height of, I think the height had already kind of hit, but the Gully versus Gaza, Movado versus Vibes Cartel shit was going when I first went to Kingston. And that was kind of like another bucket list thing, like the Bronx or the Brooklyn, like
Kingston, Jamaica, man. What's bigger than that? Especially if you love reggae.
Yeah, so I went and stayed with Tristan Palmer for about a week and a half. Yeah, and he had a studio at his place, and he kind of set it up for me to record a bunch of different things with some of his younger dancehall artists and some of the OGs as well. So that experience was super dope. But back to like, I just grew up heavily influenced by reggae music and by hip hop music. So I'd say that I had ball head when I'm playing football. You know, and when I found out that I wasn't gonna play call, when I found out I wasn't fast enough to really play at the next level, I decided I was gonna dedicate myself to my art, whatever that may be, musically, creatively, whatever the case. So that's when I started. 1997 was when I started writing rhymes and when I started growing the hair.
This shit got that long from 1997 to now? Yeah. That's crazy.
What's that, 26 years now or something?
That's long as fuck.
Yeah.
I know a lot of island folk, a lot of Jamaicans, Trinidadians, that wish.
Yeah. It's crazy too, like going to Kingston and when you realize that like the I probably only seen a handful of dreads while I was out there. Like, like the yardies is there's different sections of But going back to like I had mentioned Sonny, so so early on he was like he had started his I think like 3 or 4 years. I think he was like maybe 95, somewhere around that time. Yeah. So when I had started, I was a little, I have straight hair. I was a little, it was taking a while to come in. He was like, nah, you just got, I remember seeing him specifically one Christmas or whatever, the families that got together, and I was like, yeah, this is a mess. And he's like, you got to see it through. You got to keep, it'll come around. But yeah, I kept him up in the tan for probably like the first 3 years.
Yo, it was crazy. I just saw you at an event, Alcoholics event, and I was like, I saw your head up in the bundle. I was like, yo, I wonder if there's any dreads under there.
What else would be under there?
We just drunk joking around and shit. Me and my brother drunk joking around and shit. I said, wouldn't it be wild if he just took his shit off and had a bald head? And I see you today and you're like, touche.
Yeah. Now I got big leather caps too. Shit. I got some big hats.
Yo, this is whack because this always happens to me, man. We've been talking for a while, man. We went way over, but I don't give a fuck, Either. They make it work.
Oh, you keep it at 15 at a spot?
But it's okay.
15, 20, but it don't matter. We reinventing, we growing, we doing what the fuck we want to do because when you ain't getting paid, you do what the fuck you want to do. Yeah. So, you already know, MixxDrinks, Banish, Carrot 2 rounds. You know what he about to do. Let's see what he can do.
Did we tell everybody how they can find him in case they don't?
Damn it.
I'm Banish.
I've been remiss. How do we find you, Banish?
Yeah, Banish Habitual on all social media across the board. We got some new things streaming on Spotify. I kind of I put out an album 2019. We went to the East. We was doing it. When I came back, I might have been patient zero. I came back. I definitely got sick at JFK, the LAX. I don't know if it was COVID, but I definitely had something. But the world shut down, right? So in my head, though, I had kind of already planned on coming back from that trip and kind of playing it cool to build this old car that I have. But it just worked out. So now the world shuts down, and this is kind of me getting back into like a regular flow of releasing music with a brand new producer, and it's kind of a whole new situation. And it kind of manifested itself. And I'm one of those people that believes that like if something's coming to you, you should receive it and see where it goes. So that's kind of what's going on with all the new stuff that I got going on right now.
And I think you're gonna like what you hear. I've been listening to your works. I listened to your recent material, man, and I'm impressed. I think y'all gonna be impressed. This is Case, Miss Kara, 2 rounds, Banish. Let's get it.
MixxDrinks. Who wants a drink? Who wants a drink? Who wants a bar? Who wants a beat? This is MixxDrinks.
Power, sex, chrome. It's the chrome guard, shining in my Chevy.
Chevy 2 Nova, that's a no-go, but I go hard, so raw. Chrome guard, might see me skirting down your boulevard. Chrome guard.
Yeah, look, shit go wake up, knock off this breaker, buff this paint up like a mirror, she could do her makeup. Don't follow rules, you can't make us. Got a problem, then just say something, but you should say something quick, cause these youngins love to break they sticks, make they list. Don't make me write your name on that shit. Hop off my dick, hit that split, run it up like 4, 5, 6, hit them licks, get that shit. Don't lose that grip, man. How the fuck you choose that bitch? You just went in, how the fuck you get loose that quick? Fuck around and got news, these dudes think they slick. You can't start building if I come and take your bricks. Told her balls and dick, both bitch gon' make this shit. Open up her mouth and I spit, I'm pornographic as shit. Might put down some plastic and piss, put her ass on my fist. As you can probably already tell, I'm a ventriloquist. Don't miss, wish they would though. I will son no Woodrow, I kill son no Benwo, no Benoit.
Chrome guard, shining in my Chevy 2 Nova, that's a no-go, but I go hard, so raw. Chrome guard, might see me skirting down your boulevard.
Might catch me skirting down your boulevard. Yeah, summertime cargo.
That's a stupid ass style.
Put out a video for this joint. Stream it up. I heard it's on YouTube. It's fire. Shout out SDP. Yeah.
Stupid ass style.
Go dumb.
Go stupid. Go dumb.
Yeah. With the stupid ass style, I punch you in your dumb face. This won't be a fun race, this gon' be a life chase. You can't scam me for this cash, you get me for these bags. Took any letter in the alphabet, all you fools still bags running up a flagpole. Don't tell them you know I know, just know we get live though. It's all about survival, I won't lie though. Put you in the time zone, now you got your mind blown. Now I'm in my prime mode, study up, don't let the waters get muddied up. Funny what, like I'm a joke to you? This dread like got an ice pick in it, bitch, I might be poking you. After a token too, I might be kinda normal. Always trying to trip into a higher portal. I implore you, shit too easy with your loose ass. I just be laughing while I be burning all this goof gas. Who ass, so let's get to it. Trip music, sip through it. You ain't even gotta ask, I slide like some fluid. About time to get to it. I'm cruising in my whip going stupid though. Pull up and they acting like they knew me though. Told her what I wanna do, she said, oh you Sucio. Groovy though, that's a pickup. It's like my lights is out, I ain't never switch up. Puffing on these raps involuntary like a hiccup. Everything I say fucking froze, it's just a stick up. It's a motherfucking stick up. Go dumb, go stupid, go dumb. Stupid ass style, get out of stupid ass style.
God damn it, tell a friend and tell a friend, tell a friend. You wanna hear more of that shit?
We still rapping.
Get at your fucking boy, man.
Stream my shit.
MixxDrinks, Banish Habitual, Carrot 2 rounds.
That's
you know
right.
the vibes, MixxDrinks.
MixxDrinks. Who wants a drink? Who wants a drink? Who wants a bar? Who wants a beat? This is MixxDrinks.